It is about an elderly man and a relationship with a younger person. I certainly wasn't as young as the man in Tuesdays with Morrie, but my father was an elderly man. It was dealing with our relationship, with insights that we developed through that relationship during that time. We bonded more than ever in my whole life during that time. When I was growing up, my father was gone at work like most men. When he came home at night, I shared him with my mother and sister. I never really had any alone time with him. Then as I got older, I finally had a family, and we never had any alone time then. Then I had a career working as a probation officer. This was the first time in our lives, I think, that it was just the two of us over a shared passion that we had both developed, namely acting. So it was a very exciting and magical 3 years.
Would you like to read something for us out of your book?
All right.
Pick any passage you want. And, 2
well,
or 3, 4 minutes worth, whatever you feel.
Oh, okay.
Or share one of the...
Well, I think what I'll do, I hadn't come prepared for this, but I think what I'm going to do is, first of all, read the opening 2 lines, because it's kind of how it started off. It started nonchalantly with a thought I blurted out without even realizing I was saying it. It's funny how something as simple as that can change your whole life. This is chapter 3, The Invitation That Changed Our Lives. "Come with me to my acting class, Daddy," I said. And I went on to describe how I got into the acting class. And then I talk about how my father did not want to go. And "No, I don't think so," protested my father softly. Dad had seemed so lost since Mother died. He was trying to act normal, but an uncharacteristic quietness engulfed him. And then, of course, I kept pushing him to come, and he just didn't have the energy to resist me. I think what I'd like to read, since I put all 6 scenes, and by the way, the scenes that I wrote, they are all dad and daughter scenes. And Dad is this irascible old character who does the most outrageous antics, and daughter is always tearing her hair out over them. So what I'd like to do is perhaps read one of the scenes. It shouldn't take too long. This is Going to the Movies with Dad, the very first one. An elderly man and his daughter are walking down the aisle into the movie theater. Daughter: "This is so exciting, Dad. We haven't been to the movies together in ages." Dad: "It's so dark in here, I can't see anything." Daughter: "Your eyes will get used to it soon, Dad." Dad: "There are so many people in here." Daughter: "Just watch your step, you'll be okay." Dad: "Why is it so noisy?" Daughter: "Don't think about it." Dad: "What movie did you say this was again?" Daughter: "Oh, it's that new Tom Cruise movie. Everybody is talking about it, and I've been dying to see it." Dad: "Tom Cruise? Who's that? I thought it was with Clark Gable." Daughter, exasperated: "No, Dad, he's dead." Dad: "What? Gable dead? When did that happen?" Daughter, pause. "Let's just look for a seat." Dad: "I can never see in the movies because I always end up sitting behind some big moose." Daughter: "I know, Dad, and I've thought of the perfect solution. We'll find seats behind one empty seat. Nobody ever sits alone, so you'll be able to see everything. Oh, look, there's one. Let's get it quick. It's so crowded in here, it's probably the only one." Dad and daughter make their way into the row, and Dad sits behind the empty seat. Dad: "Did you bring my backrest?" Daughter: "Yes, Dad, here it is." Dad: "The trouble with movies today is there's too much cussing. When Clark Gable used the first cuss word in a movie, we were all shocked. We finally got used to it, but the movies today have no respect for common decency." Daughter, rubbing forehead as though getting a headache, then trying to divert Dad's attention. "Look, Dad, here's your popcorn and Coke, and I brought your favorite snacks." Daughter shows the snacks to Dad, pulling them out of the bag one at a time. "Milk Duds and Cracker Jacks and..." Dad, interrupting her: How far is it to the bathroom? Daughter, in an exasperated manner, it's just outside the door. Suddenly, a very large man begins to walk down the aisle. When he is near their row, daughter notices him. She does a double take and her eyes open wide, incredulous. The man begins to make his way into the row just ahead of dad and daughter. Daughter is following him with her gaze, moving her head to watch him. Slowly, her mouth drops open as the man takes the seat in front of dad. Daughter, brief pause, shouts out, "Oh, shit!"
I like your dialogue because I like dialogue when two people are having different conversations, when they're not really talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're both expressing what they feel like they want to express and kind of looking at each other as though they are talking to each other, but they really aren't.
Right.
So I find that quite well written. It's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much.
Identify the audience for this book.
I think it became very clear to me that the audience are baby boomers and seniors. It is not only baby boomers and seniors, but their family members and friends.
How will someone who reads your book change? What would it change in a reader? What would they come out of the book with that they didn't have when they went in?
That's a good question. As I said earlier, I am hoping to inspire people in the baby boomer and senior age range to realize that they too can find an adventure just like I did. There are so many things out there, and when I meet seniors or baby boomers who say to me, I just don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I don't know. I'm just so depressed. I just don't even want to get out of bed. It just amazes me because there's so much to do, and I hope this book will inspire them.
Now, let me ask you finally, do you think that the acting thing, because it was you and your father, and the relationship wasn't necessarily strained, but it wasn't all that strong, that there's something unique in acting that allowed you to bring out, to enhance the relationship with your father?
I think that is so. Acting for me personally was amazing. I had always had stage fright, having to stand up in front of a group and speak. And when I started the acting class, I didn't know I would have to do that. I thought it was a class where you just sat in your seat and everybody went around the room reading a few lines or a paragraph or so from a play. I had no idea that we had to stand up in front of the group, that we had to perform in an acting class showcase. I remember the first time I was asked to go up in front of the class with a partner and read a scene. I didn't think I could even speak. When my father started the class, he was a natural personality for it. Acting classes often attract big personality types, and boy was that my father. And he loved it. And I think that we were both getting what we needed out of it in different ways, and we shared that. And it was so exciting. That's all we wanted to talk about, 24/7, it seemed.